I'm in a county firmly at the helm of Great Britain's rich maritime heritage, and this is the most celebrated battleship in British naval history. But which county does it call home? Keep watching to find out as we set sail for another escape to the country.
On today's show, we take to the seas as we help a couple navigate their way through the Hampshire countryside. And early on in our search, one house proves a real inspiration.
Oh my goodness.
We can invite our friends round to have a swim.
Okay, enough.
But then another house fails to float their boat.
Slightly different from this morning.
Interesting.
Doesn't have the wow factor.
No.
I would keep my judgment until I see inside.
I'm in the county of Hampshire, and this is Admiral Lord Nelson's flagship HMS Victory, based here in Portsmouth's historic dockyard. Now, in 1805, Nelson led the British Navy into battle against the Franco-Spanish fleet off the coast of Spain, just west of Cape Trafalgar. Later in the programme, I'll be discovering how HMS Victory is being given a new lease of life thanks to a 10-year restoration programme. But maritime adventures aren't the only things happening in this county.
Hampshire lies on the south coast of England, bordered by West Sussex and Surrey to the east and Dorset and Wiltshire to the west. It's one of the oldest counties in England, with a recorded history dating back to Anglo-Saxon times, and offers an enchanting blend of both countryside and coast. Its shoreline is a mix of busy ports with a strong industrial and naval heritage, and quieter beachside towns and villages that face out towards the English Channel. Moving back inland, you'll find Hampshire's rural jewel, the New Forest. Over 200 square miles of ancient woodland that were created as a royal hunting ground by William the Conqueror in 1079. Today it has national park status, and with cattle, ponies and donkeys all roaming freely through the heath and woodland, it provides a truly wonderful place to escape to the country.
The price of a typical detached property in Hampshire is just over £345,000. That's £94,000 more than the national figure. Now, this high cost is partly due to the lure of the New Forest, which sends prices rocketing. In this sought-after area, you can expect to pay up to £100,000 more than in the rest of the county. But wherever you choose, one thing's for certain, there are plenty of different architectural styles to choose from.
Over the years, Hampshire's chalk cliffs have been regularly excavated for use in many of its properties. And it was the Romans who first drew on the county's rich source of chalk as a material from which to construct homes. It's often combined with flint, brick or other building stones to give the county's housing stock a distinctive appearance. A 4-bedroom period farmhouse of this type could cost you from around the £420,000 mark. This region also showcases many period thatch-style homes that are especially common in the villages that are dotted throughout the New Forest. Prices for a typical 4-bedroom thatch cottage are upwards of £440,000.
A fabulous choice of Hampshire properties. But will they whet the appetite of today's house hunters? Let's meet them and find out.
Bob, a retired naval officer, and his wife Mary met in the United States 43 years ago when his ship, the HMS Eagle, docked in Virginia.
I was just finishing university. I was on a NATO guest list, and they needed young single girls to meet all of these wonderful naval officers. And I went to the first night in port cocktail party and went down the receiving line, and there was a very dashing young naval officer there, first person I met.
A year later, they were married and set up home in England. But to say they then had a nomadic life would be an understatement.
were actually married in Washington, D.C., and then brought Mary back to Cornwall, then moved to Somerset. From Somerset, we were moved up to Scotland, to Ayr, because I was flying from Prestwick. We went from Prestwick to Australia, and then from Australia back to Portsmouth, South Sea, and then after that went to America.
In total, our buyers moved some 28 times before finally deciding to settle in Clapham, South London, where they've been for the last 14 years.
Well, when we arrived in this house, we found that it absolutely suited us down to the ground. The size was good, and the garden, the lack of space, actually was perfect for us, and it freed us to just enjoy London.
After so many years living in one place, Bob and Mary finally got itchy feet, and a year ago decided to retire and go travelling.
We set off last November, and we spent 8 months going actually literally around the world.
It was while globetrotting that they made the decision to seek out a different way of life back in the UK.
And it's probably time now to make a move to somewhere a bit quieter, somewhere a bit gentler, a bit more green space. All the sort of things that you really can't do in a small London garden. So maybe keep a few hens, or keep a few bees, or have a dog, and all those sort of country pursuits that we've really put on hold for a long time.
The call of the countryside may be strong, but Bob and Mary don't want to be too far away from their 2 children in London, so have decided to move to Hampshire.
Well, by focusing primarily on Hampshire, we are focusing on the motorway links, the rail links. So we're not wedded to our car. We're quite happy to hop on the train. And that opens out quite a nice range of beautiful countryside.
And in the hope of cooking up their ideal property, our buyers have a sizable pot to dip into.
The budget for the house we're looking for is up to £750,000.
Bob and Mary want us to concentrate our search in the southern area of Hampshire. They also want to be close to the coast, but still within easy reach of a motorway or train station, so they can travel quickly back to London to visit their children. I caught up with them in the Hampshire countryside to find out more about the kind of property they're after.
So Bob and Mary, here we are in a very sunny Hampshire today. Let's hope the weather continues like this.
Absolutely.
Well, what are we looking for? Remind us what you're looking for in this property, which isn't going to be the final one, but hopefully you're going to be there for a long time.
We want flexible accommodation, so we've said 3 bedrooms, stroke 4, or a study, something that when we have extras come to stay, we can pull out a sofa bed or something like that.
And a garden, a decent-sized garden. Then we've got a very tiny garden. So a garden, and maybe enough space to raise, a few hens, or have some bees, something like that. Some sort of country livestock, as it were.
Lovely. Bright, airy, old, new.
Light,
Yeah.
tall ceilings, lots of windows. We don't mind the period.
It's quite a modest house that we're looking for, but it's got to be close to perhaps a train station.
Not too isolated. We don't want to have to get in the car for everything we need.
I'm keen to get started, are you?
Let's do it.
Very much so.
Come on then.
Thank you.
Bob and Mary have a good budget of £750,000 and a very clear idea of what they'd like in their new home, including a minimum of 3 bedrooms for when their family invade, a study, a house that is light with tall ceilings and lots of windows, a garden big enough for chickens, a beehive, and also to grow fruit and vegetables. And they don't want to be too isolated. We've got 3 wonderful yet rather different houses to show them, but we won't be letting them know the price of each property until they've had a guess first. And as ever, our final offering is the mystery house, which could be heaven sent. Our first house is near Wickham, a well-known Hampshire village, located close to Portsmouth and ideally situated for both the A3 and M3 roads to take them directly to London. The centre of the attractive village is lined with historic buildings. In the main square, there's an abundance of Georgian-style houses, with shops and plenty of places to eat and drink. Property 1 lies on the outskirts of Wickham and provides a pretty and secluded home which dates back to the 1950s.
So here is our first property in Hampshire.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. It's gorgeous.
Yes, that's outstanding.
What catches your eye when you first look at the property?
How well maintained it is.
And that it's in its own setting, it's in its own grounds. It's not overlooked as far as I can see, and it's very, very well laid out.
Great. Well, shall we step inside?
Let's do
Yes,
that.
please.
What a fabulous reaction with Bob and Mary really singing this property's praises. Fingers crossed we can keep them smiling.
So come through. Quite a large hallway. Good size entrance.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I do like a generous hallway. Yes, it's excellent.
And you've got storage in that cupboard there. You've got a downstairs cloakroom.
Good, that's useful.
To the left, we have a study. Decent size.
It's more like a library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make it whatever you like. So let's start the tour with the drawing room.
Okay.
Which really benefits from a lovely
yes.
sunny day.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes, I love this.
And they've divided it up into two, haven't they?
They've
Yeah.
also taken a wall out here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've got your sitting room here, but you've also got your sort of dining area behind us.
Which is perfect.
So let's go to the kitchen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Follow me. It's set up in sort of a galley style, if you like. Two half galley.
Yeah.
Nautical. So you've got the main kitchen here, complete with 3 ovens.
Wow.
And then behind us, practically
yeah.
the same size again, you've got your utility room.
Good heavens.
Yeah.
Wow.
And who's the
And-
chef in this relationship?
I'm going to be very boring, both of us.
Oh, yeah.
Joint, we both cook.
Yeah.
So those 3 ovens are going to be pretty handy then,
Indeed,
aren't
one and a
they?
half each.
You can watch us grow.
What do you think? What do you make of the kitchen, Bob?
It has the potential, but I don't like the shape. I don't like a long, narrow kitchen. So I think we'd probably have to rethink how we would perhaps change the space around. I'm sure it's possible.
Right, shall we head upstairs and see where you two might sleep?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
So, for our 2 keen chefs, the kitchen isn't quite their idea of a culinary paradise, but they can see the potential of the space. Time to check out the room that would be theirs.
So this is the master bedroom.
Okay. Again, it's the light that appeals.
South facing.
And ensuite.
And a
Presumably.
huge ensuite, which I'm going to show you in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
You're surrounded by trees and woodland.
Yes.
Now, you wanted light and
We
airy,
did.
didn't you?
Yes. I think we probably changed some of the decor to make it a bit lighter. But yes, this is good. And I do like I can just see the very generous size ensuite.
I've got to show you this,
Yes.
haven't I? Come through. This is bathing, very grand scale.
Oh, my goodness.
We can invite our friends round to have a swim.
Okay, enough. Wow.
Yes, it might be a little bit too sociable, perhaps. It's
Yeah.
fabulous,
It's
isn't
like
it?
bathing in the treetops, isn't
Yes.
it? It is
Gorgeous.
like a treehouse. My goodness. And there's some well-fitted
We
wardrobes.
do have wardrobes in here.
Yes.
I didn't want to give too much away next door, you see.
It's little by little.
Now, I've been teasing you with the garden and the land. Sun's shining still. Yeah, we're lucky. Should we head outside?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
please. Super.
Bob and Mary are overflowing with enthusiasm for the spectacular ensuite with spa bath. One of the other bedrooms also has its own ensuite, though this one isn't quite so high-tech. The other 2 bedrooms are both doubles with views overlooking the garden, which is where we're heading right now.
So here's the back of your property. And from here, you really can see the grounds. So let's start. So the back of the house, got that creeping wisteria making it look so beautiful.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
A large double garage
Yes.
to the side, and then just under an acre
Oh,
An
really?
acre.
of garden. Yeah, and you've even got your own pond with goldfish. There we are. So who wants to go first with Guess the Price?
Well, it's quite mean if I go first, but I'm going to go first.
Ladies first.
Because of the amount of land, I think, as well, and bearing in mind where we are, I'd say it's fairly close to our budget. I'm going to be optimistic, though, and say about £700,000.
I would probably go even more. I'd say probably you're talking 715.
The asking price, £695,000.
Goodness.
Good guess, Mary.
Very good guess. You're only 5,000 out.
Gosh,
But yeah,
that's very good news. That's very heartening.
it's a good start, isn't it?
It is,
It's a good start, under budget.
With potential for an extension within our budget.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that would have to be, yes.
Yeah.
Could you make the adjustments to make this house right for
that's
you?
a great lot of food for thought.
Yeah. Go on, off
Good.
you go.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
On the market for £695,000, our first house is well under budget and has plenty of scope to give them everything they're after. It offers a good-sized kitchen diner, a master bedroom with a luxurious ensuite, another 3 bedrooms suitable for accommodating their family, plenty of grounds for a potential vegetable patch and chickens, and it's all set in a beautiful secluded location.
When we first walked up, it looked attractive, covered in creeper, and it's in a great location. You really have to see it to appreciate it. It's set in the garden, wonderful garden, lots of space, really attractive from that point of view. The rooms are not terribly spacious, and I think that if we were going to consider it, and it certainly is a possibility, we would be thinking about extending.
Well, I think first impressions were very, very positive. I was surprised at its size. I think possibly I had worried about how much our budget would stretch in Hampshire. With the attractive price we now know this house is on the market for, it does give us a bit of scope to do what we'd like to do in the house.
Ah, there you two
Hello.
are. Have you seen enough?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, a good start here in Hampshire?
Very good start. Thank you.
Right, we'll continue.
Leaving behind the stunning setting of our first house, we're now on our way to Alresford to see property number 2. But first, I wanted to find out a little bit more about our buyer's itinerant lifestyle.
So during the 28 moves that you've done over your time together, have you ever lived in Hampshire?
Yes, once.
We have,
Just
yeah.
under a year. We
Yeah?
were in Southsea.
So in a way, does it feel like coming home?
Where is home?
Yeah, you're nomads, you two. I've decided you're nomads, the travellers, but hopefully you'll be able to put down some roots here in Hampshire.
En route to our second property offering, we're stopping off to give our buyers a feel for the area. The town has 3 main streets, each lined with Georgian and Victorian buildings, and the layout is much the same as it was when it was first drawn up by Godfrey de Lucy, the Bishop of Winchester, around 1200 AD. We're meeting John Soule, who's lived here for most of his life.
Hello there.
Hello, hello, hello.
An impressive array of meat.
Yes,
Gosh.
So how long have you been here?
we've been here 20 years plus.
Family business?
Family business run by my son and myself.
Excellent.
Well, Bob and Mary are thinking of moving to this
oh.
part of the world.
Oh, it's lovely because it's such a friendly town and lots to do and lots of independent shops, no supermarket.
Ah.
That's what makes it unique.
It's unusual.
Well, we know where you guys are going to be shopping around here, don't we? Just got to find you the perfect house.
That's right.
Thank you very much indeed.
Just 4 miles east of Alresford, we arrive at our second property.
And here it is.
Gosh. Very different.
Very different, but roughly the same era
Yeah.
as the first property, built in the 1950s. Slightly different from this morning.
Interesting.
Doesn't have the
Yeah.
wow factor
No.
that we saw in the first house. So I would keep my judgment until
Yes.
I see inside.
Yes.
Open-minded.
Yes.
So, should we take a step inside the house?
Let's do
please.
that.
So, a lack of enthusiasm from our usually bubbly buyers. Let's see if the interior can capture their imagination.
So, come on in. So, a spacious hallway. So let's go straight through to the dining room. You just notice we've got a study there, which you wanted, on the wish list.
I like the way it flows. That's quite good.
Yeah.
It's certainly different, and it'll be interesting to see how how the layout is upstairs.
Yes. Yeah.
Despite Bob's positivity, I get the feeling this house isn't quite delivering what they're after so far. Perhaps the kitchen can lift their spirits.
Now, this is a fair-sized kitchen, isn't it?
Oh, this is good size.
this
Yes.
is nice.
Yeah, this is good.
So you've got the whole length, practically, of the house here.
Yeah.
Large enough to have table and chairs. They've actually got it as a breakfast bar.
Yeah, which is super. It's lovely and warm.
It
Yeah.
is, thanks to the range,
Oh.
which is an old-fashioned range.
It is indeed.
Okay.
Powered by coal. So you've got all this space.
Yeah.
To the side of us, there's another room, which they sort of use as a gym come reading room. And then behind us, because the house does seem to go on quite a lot, you've got storage space, you've got the huge fridge freezer and downstairs cloakroom as well. Well, let's look at the living area, the sitting room, which is
Thank you.
through here. So here is the sitting room.
It's sort of startlingly shorter, shallower.
Might not be the size that you were hoping for, but it does benefit having a conservatory. It's just the entrance there on the left. Huge
super.
conservatory, which I'll let you have a little look at on your own.
Okay.
Shall we head upstairs?
Let's do that.
Thanks.
The mood seems to be continuing in this room, even with the extra light offered by the conservatory. Upstairs there are a total of 4 bedrooms, including 2 doubles and 1 spacious single. There's also a lovely family bathroom, but I'm taking our buyers to have a peek at where they could be sleeping.
Now, the other 3 bedrooms are a really good size, but this
It's huge.
is a master,
Yeah, it's
isn't it?
tremendous.
It truly is.
All the way across. That's nice.
How super. And an ensuite?
It is. You just spotted as you walk past
Yeah.
a really good shower room, so you've got an ensuite there.
The upstairs works, I think,
It's just getting your head on the downstairs. It is.
to how one should rearrange,
Yes.
perhaps. Yes.
Well, we know you like this area, so let's head back outside and take a look at the garden.
do that.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really relieved Bob and Mary have taken to the upstairs of this property. Time to see if the outside can match this change in fortunes.
So last but not least, the all-important garden.
This is good sized.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it
In
is.
total, it's just under half an acre,
Okay.
including the front, so it's pretty big.
Yes.
Possibly a more manageable size than the last one,
Yes.
from that point of view.
Yes.
That's if
And I see there are chickens in the corner, so very
There
good.
are.
Good.
resident.
Resident
Already.
chickens,
Yeah.
yep.
Excellent.
Well, we've had a good tour. You've seen the house, you know the area pretty well. Who wants to go first with Guess the Price?
Well, you went last time.
I think you better do it this
I think I
time.
better do it this time. It's difficult because this is a house I think you really have to come inside to appreciate. From that point of view, I would say you're probably talking around 625, would be my guess.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go below that. I think probably I would say 575.
You are both out by quite a lot.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yes. Budget was 750. The asking price for this house, it's only recently gone on the market, is £785,000.
Really?
Yeah. So what we're 200,000
Yeah.
out. So we've been slightly out on the price, ladies and
dear,
gentlemen.
dear.
But do you want to have another little look around?
Yes,
Oh,
please.
yes. Good
Why
idea.
don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll catch up with you in a
Thank
little while.
you.
All right.
Okay,
See you in a
thanks.
while.
Bye.
Well, not a lot I can add to that, really. It is a great house. There's so much potential here, and it is in a fantastic location. But the price, they're very surprised at.
Over budget at £785,000, but with room for a sensible offer. Our second property was a slow burner for Bob and Mary, but it does offer a lot of what they're after. It has a good-sized kitchen with range cooker, a lovely conservatory, 4 spacious bedrooms including 1 with an ensuite, and a large yet manageable sized garden of around half an acre.
The house is possibly for a different sized family. I think there are so many rooms here. There's a lot of house, a lot of which we wouldn't need or use. So too much house for us. Nice house.
The house number 2, it's an interesting house. It's a house that has a lot of potential, it's a lot of size, a lot of space. You need to come inside to see all that it has to offer. I don't think it's going to be the house for us.
OK, you two. Yes. That's it for our first day here in Hampshire, house hunting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have you enjoyed yourselves?
Yes, very much.
Yeah?
I think what we've learned is the wide variation in pricing within one county in a relatively small space.
Yeah, really
And
changes,
we've
doesn't
learned.
it?
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
Come on.
OK.
As the evening draws in, Bob and Mary can take a moment to reflect on their first day of house hunting. Ex-naval officer Bob and his wife Mary are setting course for new horizons in the hope of swapping their hectic London life for the more tranquil Hampshire countryside. So far, it's been a tale of two 1950s detached properties. One was completely inspiring, while the other left them rather underwhelmed. But coming up, can the mystery house put them in seventh heaven?
This has been very well done.
This is extraordinary.
And I weigh anchor for a tour of HMS Victory.
After a successful career in the Navy and 28 house moves both here in the UK and abroad, Bob and Mary have decided it's time to settle down for a slice of country living, but in a location not too far from their friends and family back in London. We started off well yesterday, showing them a 1950s family home in a semi-rural village. But our second property, near the prime location of Alresford, didn't quite have the curb appeal they were after, and their guesses on the price tag were way off the mark. So today, I think it's time to raise their spirits. With our third property, our mystery house, will it be the answer to their prayers? But the thing with you two is where you are unique, because you've moved so many times. You're used to flexing, aren't you?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yes, we can accommodate.
If there's a couple I've ever really wanted to find the perfect house for, it's you two.
Well, we're just wondering whether it's going to be a thatched chapel conversion.
I'm not going to give anything away.
For the mystery house, we're travelling to the village of Ashmansworth, further away from the coast and some way out of our buyer's requested South Hampshire search area, although it still has excellent links to the M3 and M4 motorways for journeys to visit their family in London. Ashmansworth has a delightful setting and is reputed to be the highest village in Hampshire. And if Bob and Mary fancy celebrating their move to the country, they could book a table at the local gastropub. Time to serve up their mystery property.
So keep looking at your feet. Keep looking. We're going to take you to the driveway now. Without looking up quite yet, stop. In the car, Bob, you mentioned your idea of a mystery house nightmare would be a thatched chapel conversion.
I did.
Look up now.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
What I am going to say to you, though, is do keep an open mind.
Okay.
Because there are chapel conversions, and then
And
there's this
chapel
property. Yeah, absolutely.
Goodness. That certainly has the wow factor, doesn't it?
It does. So are you prepared to give it a go? Give our mystery house the benefit of the doubt?
Always open-minded.
I like that.
I'm dying to see inside.
Good. Come on.
Gosh.
Well, it is a gamble bringing our buyers here, but Bob and Mary, as they keep saying, are very open-minded. I'm just hoping they are true to their word.
First impressions. Do you feel like you're in a chapel?
Not at all.
Not at all, no. This has been very well done.
This is extraordinary.
So as you walk through the front door, to the right, just behind you, you'll see there's a sitting room through there.
Okay.
Or it could be a fantastic study. It's pretty big. You've got a downstairs cloakroom. Let's start off with the dining room, I think.
Oh, look at this. Look at how light it is. This is splendid.
And this part of the property, this was the extension done in the 1970s, And then the current owner has done extensive work throughout restoring it, renovating it. So behind us, we've got a utility room.
Very good.
With a sink.
Necessary. Yeah.
Always a plus.
Through here is, I think, a rather fabulous kitchen.
Wow. Wow.
Really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the little lights. I love those.
And this looks all new.
It is. It's literally a couple of years old.
Yeah.
So to the right of the kitchen, just through the archway, is a conservatory.
Oh, goodness.
Good.
Good size, nicely done. So in a way, I've shown you the housey part of the property. Shall we see the chapel side?
Let's.
Follow me.
So far, it's been a risk worth taking, as it looks like our buyers have fallen for this impressive chapel conversion. The next room, though, will be the real test.
Oh, yeah.
And it is in this room you get to see
Good.
You certainly do.
the old chapel with the double height ceiling.
What fun. Look at this.
And a huge fireplace.
Huge fireplace, multi-fuel burner in there,
Yeah.
giving out loads of heat.
The windows look original, but how about the blue glass?
That is original.
Really?
Yep, there was blue glass here originally, and the current owners have had them all restored because a lot of the glass was broken. So this is how it would have been, all 8. They're huge, aren't they, these arch windows? But I personally think it really benefits from it.
It's a great way to do those windows.
It is.
They're a real plus in this room.
So
to make
light.
it. Ah, marvellous.
Should we go up the stairs and take a look at the bedroom?
Let's do that.
What great reactions! Bob and Mary have been truly converted to this amazing property, and I think they're going to be equally impressed by the first floor as we begin by checking out where they could sleep.
So,
Nice.
here is the master bedroom with an ensuite next door. But you've got 4 bedrooms in total with this property, with the possibility in the eaves of going and having a 5th one done.
Right.
Just small conversion if you wanted to do that.
Yes.
Although this is the ensuite, it's actually got 2 doors, so it works like a Jack and Jill. So if your guests wanted to use that bathroom, they could. There's another bedroom next door to us with another bathroom, and that's got the same double door system going.
Very well thought out.
Yeah.
It's flexible. Yes.
Absolutely. So you've got 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Right, well, let's head outside. You two have got to start thinking money, how much this chapel is on the market for. And I'll also explain a little bit more about the location and where we are in the county. So, Bob, if you wouldn't mind leading the way, please.
Okay.
Back down the stairs. Thank you.
To complete our tour of the interior, the 2 other bedrooms give them all the space they would need for visiting family. But let's see what they make of the gardens and this chapel's stunning setting.
No, you don't get that in London, do you?
That's lovely.
Whoa.
That's really nice.
Is that worth making the journey for?
It is. It is. That's tremendous.
So there is a very small compromise to make because it isn't the biggest of gardens, but you do have that right on your doorstep.
Nice to wake up to, though.
Yeah. So you've seen the chapel that we twisted your arm to come and see, and hopefully we did the right thing. How much do you think this 3rd property is on the market for?
This is difficult because we are very much in commuter country. I would say we're looking at £750,000.
Have I got a good poker face? Mary, what do you think?
I think I'm going to say 775.
Asking price? £765,000. So it is nudging over your budget.
Food for thought.
Yes.
Certainly worth thinking about.
Do you want to take another look around and give me a shout when you're ready?
Yes, please.
We'll do.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Priced at £765,000, the Mystery House has exceeded their expectations and is not too difficult to see why. With the most spectacular living room, which has been beautifully restored, with high ceilings, ornate stained glass windows, and a huge fireplace. There's also a stunning and very modern kitchen, 4 large bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and the most amazing views of the Hampshire countryside.
This mystery house, it lived up to its expectations. I think it surprised both of us incredibly. I loved it. I think we both loved it. It's not perfect. A house is never going to be perfect. I could see us moving in right away.
The Mystery House really surprised me. I had said on the way here that I thought that a thatched chapel conversion wouldn't be the least favourite thing of anything I wanted, but actually, despite the fact I had no thatch, this one is an amazing house. It's been beautifully constructed, beautifully changed, and it has the feel of a house rather than the feel of a chapel.
Well, that's it. You've seen now 3 properties here in Hampshire. So do you two want a little bit of time to think about what you've seen and what your options could be?
Good idea.
Yeah?
You've given us a lot of food for thought, opened our eyes in lots of different ways, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good, that's
Thank
the main
you.
thing.
Hampshire's historic maritime tradition is centred on Portsmouth on the county's south coast, where the glories of its naval history are celebrated. As well as its long association with the Royal Navy, Portsmouth is also home to one of the world's most historic seafaring vessels, HMS Victory. She's most famous for being Admiral Lord Nelson's flagship at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. This triumph for the Royal Navy was instrumental in the defeat of Napoleon and confirmed Britain's dominance of the high seas for over 100 years. HMS Victory is the world's oldest commissioned warship and is a huge tourist attraction. I've hopped aboard to meet the commanding officer, Lieutenant Commander Rod Stratton, to learn more about this icon of naval history.
I mean, having just got on board, it is such an impressive ship. What type of ship is it?
Well, she's a first-rate ship of the line. That means she had more than 100 guns. Launched in 1765, built in Chatham in Kent, and she was the flagship of Admiral Lord Nelson at the famous Battle of Trafalgar. But sadly, this is where Nelson died. In fact, we're standing just a few feet away from the spot where he was shot down by a French sharpshooter up in the mizzen top of the French ship Redoutable.
So what happened to HMS Victory after the battle?
She came back to Portsmouth and the ship carried on in active service until 1812.
And looking around, it looks in fantastic condition considering how old she is.
Well, she is beautiful, but it's part of ongoing work to restore her. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money to keep a Georgian warship of this type in good order.
In a groundbreaking enterprise, the Ministry of Defence decided to transfer the custodianship of HMS Victory to the Preservation Trust, a charitable group that will ensure the future of this iconic ship for generations to come. Roy Smith is in charge of the restoration.
So what's the ship's biggest enemy? Is it all the tourists?
No, it's mainly the elements. At the moment, it's the ingress of water into the ship's structure, which causes decay.
Do you use modern techniques?
We've tried those in the past, but they tend to fail, and so we reverted back to traditional methods.
Really? What methods going back hundreds of years?
Hundreds and hundreds of years, yes.
So what's going on here?
Well, Liam's caulking the seam using oakum, which is teased apart rope fibres impregnated with Stockholm tar. This brings about the saying of money for old rope.
Now, it's not often I come on a ship that's 250 years old.
Yep.
Is it possible for me to help restore just a little part of her?
I'm sure Liam will lend you his tools and you can have a go.
Thank you. So, I've got to pack it in really tightly.
Really tightly, and minding your fingers.
And this is exactly the process that they would have used hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it's been going on for hundreds of years.
And it's pretty labour-intensive, isn't it?
It is, yes.
So, right, that's in.
Yep.
And
All I've done
now-
now is pack it down.
So I continue all the way down, and then the next process, it's going to have this added to it?
Yeah, then we melt the tar down and pour it in nice and neatly, and then that will hopefully keep it waterproof.
For the next 250 years, we're hoping.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be around to see that.
Well, I've started, so I'm going to finish my job if you
be
don't
my
mind.
guest.
I've had a memorable time aboard this historic warship, but it's time to head for dry land and see if we've been able to alight upon a property for Bob and Mary.
What amazing work there, preserving such an important piece of our seafaring history. Well, on to our maritime couple, and we've shown them all 3 properties here in Hampshire, but have any of them floated their boat? Let's find out. So Bob and Mary, you two are the experts on moving house. Having done it so successfully over the last 40 years or so, have we achieved move number 29? That's my big question. So let's start with the very first property that we showed you. It was a 1950s family home in a semi-rural village called Newtown. Tell me what you thought when you first saw it.
It was a house very well situated on the edge of the village, which is what we were looking for. It's an interesting house. It's so well set on its plot. It has an awful lot of what we're looking for, but the kitchen, I think, for us, we'd have to extend to make it fit in with our lifestyle.
But what we found, which was very good news, was because of the pricing, it was within our budget enough that we could make our mark on that house. So to be able to put our own kitchen in, which is an expensive room, but we could do it because of the pricing. So that's actually quite an exciting prospect.
It was a good start, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a fantastic start. Walking up the drive had that wow factor.
Yes, it
really did.
Which takes us to our second property, for again, a 1950s house. But when we first arrived, it didn't quite have the same appeal, did it?
I have to say, from the road, it was quite plain. When you first looked at it, you had to go inside to appreciate it.
It was probably too much house for us. It's a big house inside, an awful lot of house. But that didn't seem to be in evidence at all from the outside.
Yeah.
So it really merited going inside to see. So it was fascinating from that point of view.
So our third and final property was the mystery house. You did mention that you'd rather not see a thatch and you'd rather not see a chapel conversion. So we showed you a chapel conversion. But you were very good-spirited about it, especially you, Bob.
The conversion and the extension have been done in such a way that certainly when you were inside, you had no idea that you were in a chapel conversion.
Yes.
The windows were original and they were tall and was full of light. So it actually was an extremely exciting house.
Yes, it was. And you both seemed very taken with it, literally as soon as you walked through the door. And the location with that field at the back was beautiful and it was a great village. But it didn't have your shop, did it?
Shop and garden.
And garden.
Yeah. So, having talked through the three properties, I'm getting the feeling that the first one probably got the closest. Would I be right?
It's very much, I think, probably a front runner.
Well, thank you. It's been such fun showing you this beautiful area. And let us know how you get on, won't you, for your 29th move.
We will.
We certainly will. We have so enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, it seems for our well-travelled couple, Hampshire is the right county for their next adventure here in the UK countryside. On the property front, I think it's still rather open-ended. They definitely liked the first home we showed them, but the mystery house, it certainly got under their skin. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Until next time, bye-bye.
If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.